Okay, guys, let's continue with lesson 12. Let's see what our professor has for us. I think
In this lesson, we're going to learn about the JavaScript switch statement. Now, what exactly does the switch statement do? You can think of the switch as similar to the if statement, but one that handles multiple options. Now, let's take an example. If you look on
Okay, let's first create the code. I'm not sure if he's showing us the code, but I'll just type the code. We have to create another new file as usual. We're gonna call it switch.html. For sure, now you guys know the drill. Style sheet. Um, CSS HTML. So underscore its label, not link. Infinite. He was question mark now. Why is this an R here? Okay, let's fix this. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's close the tab. Okay.
It's not the one that we use for Usubizana. It's called a paper towel. Each drawer is numbered just after every drawer's tire. Each corner pile is in the. Are you a same paper? JavaScript switch statement. Now, what exactly does the switch statement do? You can think of the switch as similar to the if statement, one that handles multiple options. Now, let's take an example. If you look on the browser window here, you'll see that the user has the option to select one of many options here and then hit go. This is an incomplete app. This is actually the app that we're going to be building. Now, the intention of this app is to give the user advice based on the weather that the user has selected. So the user basically selects an option and then hits go, and then the app gives the user advice on what to do, what to take, how to dress, etc. Now you can see there's quite a few options, and there's the possibility to add a whole lot more options here. Now if you had to do this with an if statement, it will get very, very complicated. That's where the switch statement comes in. The switch statement is like an if statement, but much cleaner. It's where you take all your options and put them into one clean statement. Now let's start coding this app. To begin with, I've created a new HTML document which I've called switch.html. And as you can see, I put in my basic HTML template along with my script tags. Now let's look at what goes on inside the HTML. So I've created a label for the element with ID weather, which is the select box. This is very important to set its ID, and inside there I've created 5 options based on the weather, and I've given each option the value based on the option that's displayed. Very simple, a simple select statement there. Next, I've created a hyperlink which links to hash, means it goes nowhere, and I've put in the word go. You can put in whatever text you want to put inside there. And finally, the output text paragraph that will give the user the actual advice. Now we're going to code our actual JavaScript. We're going to start by creating a new function. We'll call this guy button pressed. Now this function takes no parameters, so we're going to leave the parameter brackets empty and then put in our curly braces. Inside the function, we're going to start by creating a new variable. We'll call this one weather selected. Now what's going to be stored in here? What we're going to store in here is the option that the user selected from the select box weather. So in one statement, we're going to declare this variable and we're going to set its value. So the value of it is document.getElementById. Remember, the ID of that element is weather dot value. So let's see what's going to happen here. Whatever option the user selects, that option's value, so for example, if the user selects rainy, then the value of rainy will be stored in weather selected. Next, we're going to create a new variable called advice. Now, the advice that the system gives the user will be stored there initially into this variable, and then from the variable, it will be output to the screen. All set, we've got our two variables. Now we jump into our switch. Now you do a switch statement by typing the keyword switch followed by round brackets. Inside the round brackets, you put in the variable that we are going to be working with. So switch weather selected, and then you put in your curly braces. Hit enter a couple of times, and our switch statement is now all set. Now all it needs is some options. Now you type in an option into switch using the case keyword, and this is how you use it. You type in the word case, and in double quotes, we're going to put in a value, followed by a colon. Now let's take a look at this. What's going on here? This is the equivalent of saying if the value that's stored in weather selected is equal to sunny, then do this. Do what? Set advice to whatever value we want it to say. And this is followed by the break keyword. Now what the break keyword does is that it instructs JavaScript to jump to the end of the switch statement. Basically, to ignore all other options that may come below this and jump right to the end and exit the switch statement. Now that we've got our switch statement, we need to remember to output the value of advice to the screen. Otherwise, JavaScript will do nothing. So we're going to put in document.getElementById, and we'll target this guy. Output text, and we're going to set his inner HTML to weather advice.
Remember
what we are doing here. If you'll recall what we did in the lesson on the variables, we use the plus symbol to join two strings of text. So what's going to happen here is this string of text double quotes, which says weather advice, is going to be joined to another string of text, which is whatever is stored inside advice. So in this case, if the user selects weather to be sunny, then advice will be set to wear your sunglasses. So in essence, what's going to happen here is that these two strings of text, weather advice and wear your sunglasses, will be joined, and the combination will be output to this paragraph.
Okay,
before we move ahead, we need to call this function. Remember, a function will do nothing until it's called, and we're going to call it inside our hyperlink tag by giving it an on-click event. Oops, my spelling is incorrect.
Okay, we will come here on our hyperlink href inside after the href. You see we have a hashtag, and then we will just type on click. Let's see.
You need to be very careful about your spelling. There we go. So the user makes a selection, clicks on go, the function is called, it checks what the user's option is, and then it outputs an appropriate message. So far, so good. Let's refresh this in the browser. Back in the browser, we got the user selection as Sunny. Obviously, that's the first option, so that's the one that's selected. We hit go, and fair enough, wear your sunglasses. So the next thing we're going to do is to add code for the remainder options. Back in my code, you can see I've added the remainder options for you. Now you need...
This guy really added the things. Okay, let's get to it. I'm thinking we just copy everything here and then paste it, because we have how many options? Okay, the first one I'm not gonna count sign. 1 2 3 4, we have 4 options. We're just gonna copy from case until break, and then we're just gonna paste it like 4 times. Okay, let's do that. Select this, Control C, and then press enter. Control V, that's the first one. Enter. Control V, second one. Enter. Control V, third one. Enter. Control V. I think this is the fourth one. Let's count. How many do we have? Okay, we have Sunny, of which it's 24 from here. This is Sunny, wear your glasses. Okay, the first advice, Sunny, after the break. This one should be windy. And then wear a jacket. A jacket. Control Z. Control Z. Wear space a. Okay. Wear a jacket. And then we're going to change the third one, which is rainy. And then rainy, wear a raincoat and carry an umbrella. Raincoat and carry an umbrella. And then we have snowy, dress warmly. Dress warmly. And the last one, we have cloudy. I carry a jacket, it might rain. Carry a jacket, full stop, get, might, rainfall in Durban, Control S. Let's see what we have here.
To add them in, you can type in whatever message you want inside there. Save this and refresh the browser. Now we're going to test each option. If it's windy, wear a jacket. Rainy,
wear a jacket.
Snowy,
okay,
cloudy. Awesome. And that's how you use the switch statement.
And there we go, guys. I'll see you on lesson 13. I think we have 17 lessons here, yeah.